Hello. Today is Friday, July 12th, 2024. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. And in this area of the country, Kentucky, Lexington to be exact, the weather is around 70 degrees currently, 73 degrees currently, and will go up to around 92 with a few clouds. As I said, highs in the low 90s and lows in the upper 60s. La Nina watch issue. What that means for you. Well, as you know, whether or not it's actually been verbalized, this is the hurricane season, which also generates tornadoes and also La Nina. So it'll be a little warmer today than yesterday, up by 3 degrees, and heading through the weekend and into next week, temperatures will be in the 90s. Sunrise today was at 6:25 a.m. and sunset will be at 9:01 p.m. The wind, 1 mile per hour. AQI is moderate at 63. And pollen is high. As I said, this is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. And if you're watching the sideshow on Facebook and Instagram, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Talk about it on WhatsApp. If you're watching the sideshow on YouTube, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And the sideshow coffee cup, buy from me for $17 plus shipping and handling. Pay me through Cash App. My Cash App tag is $TR Parker 1. Black 11-ounce ceramic with the sideshow logo on it. Good for all beverages, hot and cold. Dishwasher safe. So, heading into the news for Friday and the weekend. Yesterday was kind of crowded up with events. So, I was out for a little while yesterday afternoon taking care of some things. And I think I caught the 7:15 bus, got back home around 7:30 or so. And lo and behold, on the TV was the president's news conference. And the news conference was specially arranged with question and answers from reporters with the topic and subject, does he think he's fit to serve another term? So you realize that Biden is 2-3 years older than Trump. So when I got in, I think it went for another few minutes, maybe till about 8 p.m. and started around 6. So that's a kind of a big slice of time. And reporters came from all areas, finance. I guess all of them could be considered as White House reporters representing their various newspapers. So the format was that they had whatever time was allotted to set up their question and then ask it. And the president had a list, so he was calling names as the conference went along. So, out of everything that was said, including whether or not he thought he was able and capable, to serve another term successfully as President of the United States, with the provision that if something were to occur where he was not in a position to serve, that Vice President Kamala Harris, not Vice President Trump, would be able to take over on day one. So with that being said, my takeaway from all of that, amongst the things that President Biden responded to, was that he had broken his foot, which accounts for the way he walks. Also, on the debate, which is just me restating it, that he had had a cold, was suitably medicated, and was having hoarseness with his voice. So, include that from the previous event. And the other thing that I noticed he mentioned was that his schedule runs from 7 a.m. until midnight, which, when he said he was going to make some adjustments, was to that. And fundraisers being such as they are, he was going to move their time slot from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., which would allow everybody to get out early. So that's my takeaway from almost 2 hours of reporters asking questions. If you were able to see portions of it or all of it, and I'm quite sure you have your opinion as well. Right on top of that, in my email, I found a question from Core Digest. And the question was, who was the worst president in U.S. history and why? So I'm going to share this with you verbatim. It's not very long, but it covers some important points. So, who was the worst U.S. president in history? There was this guy who started a trade war that killed 300,000 American jobs in his first 2 years. Then he signed a tax bill that flatlined the stock market and forced the Fed to start lowering interest rates to try to prevent a recession. Then he said a global pandemic was a liberal hoax to kill the economy he spent 3 years destroying, and he set records for the 6 worst point drops in the history of the Dow, most new unemployment claims in history, and the largest deficit in history. He was investigated and found to have welcomed and encouraged election interference by a foreign government and to have obstructed justice to cover his crimes. He got impeached once for abusing his office to try to coerce a foreign leader into helping him smear a political rival. Then he got impeached again for inciting an insurrection to try to stay in power after easily and predictably losing his re-election bid. Then he got indicted for almost 100 felonies after leaving office. I forget his name. Draft dodger, admitted sex offender, painted himself orange, and wore a dead rodent on his head. Wore elevator shoes, misspelled 3-letter words on a smartphone, kept filing bankruptcy, called himself a winner, dump, rump, plump, chump, something like that. So that's your political scene as it is presently. From Core Digest. ESPY Awards on Sunday night, hosted by Serena Williams. After the media goes on and on about Caitlin Clark looking good for Rookie of the Year award, in the W, upset. Angel Reese comes away with it. Rebound record not seen in 25 years. And Prince Harry also received an award. It's going back and forth with his family, some discussion as to whether or not he may relocate to the UK. All that is undecided at this point in time. Then right on top of the news conference, Biden holds press conference at the NATO summit, where President Zelensky of Ukraine pleaded his case for permission to strike harder and deeper into Russia. Also on the table was Ukraine's entering into the NATO group. Alec Baldwin leaves his attorney stunned when he walks out of court during his trial. Comes back with coffee. As you know, this week started the trial with Alec Baldwin. Say that's a bold move. Alec Baldwin is on trial in New Mexico for the deadly shooting on the set of Rust back in 2021. The actor has been charged with involuntary manslaughter after the shooting took the life of Helena Hutchins and wounded director Joel Sousa. In Gaza, Israeli-Hamas war. U.S. Gaza aid appeared to be permanently dismantled after operating for just 20 days at a cost of $230 million to build. The officials said the pier, which has had to be moved repeatedly to avoid bad weather, would be reconnected to the Gaza coastline on Wednesday, but would operate for just the next few days before being disassembled by the U.S. Army and Navy. Speaking of drugs and the drug war, gangs and violence, U.S. sanctions notorious Venezuelan gang offers $12 million for arrest of leaders. Days after Burrell's landfall, Hurricane Burrell, 1.2 million remain without power in the Houston area. Soccer. Yamal and Spain meet England in the Euro 2024 final. It's the best team against the most resilient. Apple's AirPods Max have dropped below $400 for the first time. And rounding the corner, since the Olympics are in France, Tour de France in Paris, Tour de France standings and results. Benahan Gourmet sprints to stage 12 victory. Well, those are my items from the news for Friday, July 12, 2024. It's the weekend. TGIF. That's it. Hashtag